of TLS University, Bachelor of Performing Arts. My name is Mark Beau de Silva. Thank you for spending your afternoon with us. Today, we want to talk about the journey of a performing arts student. So in front of us right now, we have five, and I believe as performing arts practitioners, we are always learning. So we have Zhafir Muzani, we have Anrie too, we have Jelissa, we have Lok Chi Hong, and we have Safia Hanafia. Welcome speakers, and thank you for being with us today. I would like to invite the speakers now to tell us a bit about themselves. When did it all start for them? Can we begin first with Zhafir?
Yes.
Hi. I was graduated at FITA, UITM, Faculty Film, Theatre and Animasi, in bachelor degree in theatre, and now currently I'm a choreographer for the Actor Studio at KLPAC.
Thank you, Zhafir. Can I now invite Anrie too?
Hi everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Anrie, and I am a master's student. I graduated with my master's in performing arts from University Malaya just actually last year. I come from a slightly different background to where previously I did a bachelor's in communications several years ago, and then but while I was doing that, I was actually performing as well. So I actually had what we call like is it slashy the term where I have a day job. I was working with a day job, so I worked with non-profit organizations previously, and while at night or like during my free time, I actually do performing arts like theater, and I modeling and like commercials and things like that. And then only several years ago that I decided to pursue my performing arts career or academically just several years ago, which is why I actually did my master's in performing arts.
Yeah.
So that's just a little bit of my background. Yeah.
So Henri's journey is a bit different from the rest. You actually worked first as an actor, dancer, singer, triple threat, and then you went to study, right? Yeah. Thank you, Henri. And now Jelissa, who is a current student of the BBA program.
Guys.
Hi, Jelissa.
Hi guys, I'm Jelissa. So currently I am going to be doing my semester 2 in the BPA program at Taylor's University. So yeah, I feel like out of all the speakers here, I have the least amount of experience at the moment because like I'm a very new student. So that's about it.
Yeah, Jelissa, if you ask Anrie and Safia, and they'll tell you every time they enter a new production, they feel like they don't know anything, right? It feels like that all the time. So don't feel like, oh, you are the one with the least experience. As I mentioned, we are all always students, right? We're always students of the performing arts, always learning. And I think that's why we're here today also to understand one another's journey and to see how that can enhance our own journey too. Thank you, Jelissa.
We're all Jon Snow. We know nothing.
Yeah. And now we have a student who recently graduated, right, from the UK, Shi Hong. Hi.
Hi. Hi, guys, my name is Shi Hong. I'm a recent graduate from Mount View Academy of Performing Arts in the UK. So I graduated this year. I started out with the T4YP program actually in with Actor Studio, and then I went on to do I did BA Horns in Performance Acting at Mount View Academy in the UK in London, and so I'm also quite a fresh grad from the UK.
And it's very early now in the UK, right? It's 7:45.
It is 8 in the morning. And I woke up at 7.
Thanks for waking early. Thank you, Shi. And finally, we have Safia Hanafia. Hello.
Hi, everybody. I'm Safia. I graduated in musical theatre course in LaSalle College of the Arts in Singapore. I graduated in 2012. I started performing in 2009, and funny enough, my first ever acting course for beginners course. So I've been performing since 2009 and up until 2018. Got pregnant, so gave birth, and I've only I recently did a switch of career in a way, taking a hiatus. But yeah, up until that, I've been performing for like 10 years. So now it's just on and off whenever I get gigs. Yeah.
Thank you, Safia. And I always enjoy, seeing your pictures of your baby. Yeah. And it's, it's very nice. It's a very nice departure from the other pictures we get from our other friends, because everybody else is promoting their shows, and then you have Safia and Ivan's baby.
Yeah, that's the focus of my life now. So yeah, but yeah, I'm glad. Thank you, Mark, for having me. Just for everybody's knowledge, I've been dying to be in Mark Beau's play, but I've been waiting for that offer to be cast in his play. So this is the closest I get. Yeah, thanks, Mark.
One day it will happen. But it's interesting that you mentioned Joe Hasham was your first acting teacher, because now he's the adjunct professor for the BBA program. So it's like, full circle. Thank you, Safia. Thank you, all of you, for your introductions. The first question I have for all of you stems from this memory I have as a young person in Free School Penang, finishing Form 5, and then not wanting to do what all my other friends were doing, which was, engineering and law and all those sort of things. But I remember having this fear in me, this fear of, how do I tell my parents this? It feels almost like, you're going to tell them something terrible. I want to do performing arts. How was it like for you? Did you feel that when you wanted to tell them, I'm going to do this crazy thing? Yeah. How was it like? Maybe we can start with Safia, since her face is still very big here.
Okay, yeah, I went through the whole Asian route thing. Is what you guys, we all know it. I did a business course right after my SPM.
Just like you, I did a business course too.
Yeah, because my dad is an accountant. So of course, I'm the first in the family. So the whole like, I dream of you being like me kind of thing. So I had to go through that, but my brain was just not made for it. So I did accounting for 3 years, and then I just decided,
Tak boleh lah.
tak boleh jalan lah. So tak boleh jalan, right? So I went to Melbourne, and then I came back. Melbourne was for the business degree. Didn't get the degree, but I got a diploma, so I didn't fail. Got back. Thing is, performing arts was never in my life in Melbourne. That's the funny part. And Melbourne is such a, performing arts place, right? It's so funny. It's such an artsy place, but I didn't get to go there. But when I came back, it haunted me, because I live very near, this is very funny, I live very near Istana Budaya. So growing up, I have always watched plays in Istana Budaya, and of course performing in Teachers' Day kind of thing is normal lah. But Istana Budaya, the calling is like always there. It's like something is calling me, that I've always wanted to do this performing thing, but I have no idea how. And then I'm not sure. I think I remember it. I went on the Actors Studio punya website, and I got to know about the acting course, the Joe Hasham punya acting for beginners course, and that's how I started. So it was all work first. So I did the course, and then I auditioned for Ismail, got in, and then I got another musical. I think I did Mak Yong, I did Puteri Gunung Ledang, and then only I found out about the musical theatre course in LaSalle. From another graduate, the first Malaysian graduate, Stephanie Van Driesen. So I found out from her, and I just decided to go for it.
Yeah.
And
so
telling my parents, yes, that was the question. Sorry. So telling my parents was tough. I got the whole, it's not going to it's going to be tough for you. You're not going to make any money, and it's the wrong decision. You should be continuing your degree. Blah blah blah. Yeah. So that was tough.
But there was this
The
calling
courage.
that
Sorry.
you were obviously, responding to this calling because it seemed to.
Yeah, it was really strong because you see, it's like it's something that I've always, I mean, it's a pastime thing. I always go to Istana Budaya to watch plays. I always go to Istana Budaya to watch musicals. And back then the tickets were really cheap. It's nothing like $300, 600. It's like $20 when it just opened. It was $20. So it's something that we can afford as a high school student as well. And yeah, so I thought, okay, this is what I wanted to do, and then I enjoyed it, and I just got cast, so I took that as a sign. And then when I auditioned for LaSalle, I got in. So that was that made me that drove me to tell my parents that I got place, and yeah, I just want to pursue this.
Yeah, thank you, Zhafir. Calling that we performers have, right? I think we all can relate to this, right? Shihong, Jelissa, Zhafir, Anrie. I'm sure you are all here because you had that calling. Any Anrie, Zhafir, Jelissa, Shihong, any of you would like to share the challenges you had when you wanted to break this to your parents?
I think
Maybe Anrie, you didn't have parents to deal with, but because you were already, I think, a working adult at that time, right, Anrie, when you were wanting to do your postgrad? I mean,
Yes and no. Actually, when I was deciding whether or not I was gonna, like, what degree or diploma that I was gonna, I think we all go through that crossroad, like, what do you want to be when you grow up, right? So
Yes.
I never had like a defined idea of what is it that I want to be when I grow up. Unlike like my brother who's always wanting to be an architect. That kind of profession career. I said I didn't know what I wanted to be, and then I come from a relatively poor family. Like we can't afford like higher education, and all my mom wanted me to do was like to pursue, so long as I graduate lah. So she knows the SPM is just not good enough. So long as I got some kind of diploma or degree that will be able to propel me to like the next level, it's fine. So she wanted me to do STPM, and I knew I was going to die because I struggled so much trying to graduate from my SPM. So then, but the problem was I didn't know what I wanted to pursue. So the problem is you have to have a counter argument, right? So anybody who said you want to do, you want to do accounting, you want to do business, get a diploma. So then my problem was I wanted to do something creative. Actually, I wanted to do fashion design. Actually, I wanted to study fashion design. It was between fashion design or it was to do singing. I don't know if ICOM is still around, but back then the choices were if you want to get a diploma in performing, the closest, or in music was ICOM. But the problem was because I didn't have like a music background. I didn't study vocals and all that, so I don't have the qualification. So it became very difficult. But bringing that subject up with the parents and trying to persuade my parents to say, actually, I want to become a singer. I want to, because I've always been performing, like what Safia said, you've always performed like in high school, like Teacher's Day, or like some kind of choir, DK Barat, anything that can get you on stage, I was doing, right? Yeah, anything lah, right? To get you on the stage, for some reason you're like, I just need to do it, right? But then to tell your parents to say, oh, okay, this is what I want to do, that's actually, the struggle is actually real. And so when I brought it up, that was the first thing my parents said, no, don't be crazy. Don't be crazy. You want to get a whatever lah, certificate or diploma or degree in music. What is that? Like how are you supposed to survive? Become piano teacher, is it?
Yeah.
See, that's the
Anrie, because now you have obtained your master's and you're teaching. You're teaching students in the arts. So so do you not tell them, hey parents, look at what I'm doing now, I'm making money with this?
Yeah, so for me, why the road is a little bit different, because then it becomes like a long journey of like trying to change their mindset. So I understand the struggle of like all students, if that's what you're facing, right? To kind of really have tenacity, because the industry is actually very difficult.
Right.
I mean, as it is, we all who has been practicing, we know how difficult it is. Rejection is real. That's something that we face every single time we walk into an audition room, anticipating the fact that you're going to be rejected and then you're not going to be cast for whatever it is that you're going to get, right? So the rejection, the idea of rejection is actually very real. And then so what happened is, so you have to have tenacity. And for me is, I spent many, 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 many years proving myself. The fact that proving to my family, my parents, that I belong on the stage. That actually whatever that I do on stage, it means something. Hopefully it means something for other people as well, but definitely it means something to me. Because it helped craft a career path for me that is not very conventional, but it works. You know, so then they don't feel like I'm wasting my time. Even though a lot of times my mom has asked me like, why do you spend? So I literally wake up at like, 6, 7 o'clock. I go to work at like 9, or whatever time that I need to go to my job. I finish work at 6. And then I rush for rehearsal at 8. And then I finish rehearsal at 11. I go to bed. I wake up again 6, 7 o'clock, and I go to work again. And I do this every single day. And because in Malaysia, in Malaysia, we have rehearsal on Saturday, Sunday. So the whole idea of like people ask you, hey, want to go, mama? Oh, cannot, I'll go rehearsal. This is very real. But then because we love what we do, and then it makes it worth it. And because they saw the amount of time that I've put in, it's very hard for them to deny that this is what I want to do. I have made, like, I have kind of carved out my way to where right now I became like a part-time lecturer, and I'm teaching performing arts. So to them, it's like, oh, okay, it kind of somewhat makes sense of your career. You're like not only an actor or like, performer, but like, singer, but then, okay, now you're also like to them, a legitimate career. Like, oh, okay, you're a lecturer, so okay, what to do?
I think that is very important, Anrie, because to all our young students who are listening right now, watching right now, many of them might think that, oh, I study the arts. Do I just graduate and become an actor? So I think with your story and even Safia's story, you do not necessarily just become an actor. You can use whatever you've learned for so many other things. Thank you, Anrie. I would like to ask Jelissa, because I know Jelissa is a student that transferred to the performing arts track earlier this year. How was it like to tell your parents? Were they okay? Did they say yes? Or did they call you crazy too?
Okay, to be honest, I feel that I am extremely blessed because it wasn't an issue with my parents. My parents were, you can say they're very supportive, which is I'm in an Asian society. I can say that I hit the jackpot, the lottery. Both my parents are very supportive. It was more about me not like kind of like stopping myself, because like ever since like I was like young, I just don't know why. I'm very outspoken. I can intimidate people a lot, because like I can just come up and talk to people, and some people are like super shy and they can't do it. For me, I'm that girl that would yell the answer from the top row to the bottom during the first day of lecture at university. That was me. So everybody was really shocked. So sadly, I did not get the chance to. I didn't have an outlet for like when I was younger. I didn't have like my school. We didn't really have like performance, and it's more like music, which is something sadly I don't possess the talents of. There's no like acting, there's nothing, so I didn't get the outlet. And then until I moved to high school, I was in a like a small homeschool tuition center kind of thing. So we did have like performances, like acting performances for graduation, but it was like really amateurishly done. It wasn't like, okay, come in, like memorize the script, but it was like more like you just stand on stage and you just say your line.
Right? We've all done those shows. We've all done that. Sorry.
And like and there's like one character is played by 3 different people, so I really pity the audience back then if they were confused. So yeah, and then that was about it, right? I didn't go like outside and do the like what my friend is doing now. She's doing one of my friends, she's doing show choir. So it's like choir, but it's like choreographed choir lah, basically like dancing. So I did not have that. And then in Malaysia, it's really hard to find a place where it's like they only focus on acting. Everywhere it's like musical theater. Okay, you know, in musical instruments, there's no like okay strictly acting place kind of thing. So I always had that passion in me, but it was like kind of very repressed. Like when I go watch movies or when I see people act or when I hear people voice act, especially, I'm just very like inspired. Like whoa, like they are doing that on film and the way that they portray the characters, like it's insane. Like how does someone do that, right? With their voice or with like with their expressions and all that. Like you don't even see the actor anymore. You see that character.
Yeah.
So it's always fascinated me. But when I first found out about that Taylor's was doing a performing arts program, it was a little bit too late because it was in 2019 around March, and I already signed up for a mass comm course because I did mass comm. I was in mass comm. I wanted to do it because I like being on camera. So I thought, okay, you know, mass comm is like the closest thing that I ever get to be on camera and talk to people and meet people, like journalism, things like that. So I already signed up for it. And deep down, I remember talking to my dad about it, but I kind of repressed it. You know, I was like, okay, I need to do a useful degree, you know, bad mindset, right? So I was like, okay, repress this whole performance thing. Taylor's is not doing this. I'm just going to exit out my head. So with that, I've also, so I thought, okay, do mass comm and then take performing art as like my free elective. That's about it.
Yeah.
So,
Jelissa, if I can interject, so you did your first semester mass comm and then you did your BPA one semester, right? Yeah. Now I'm going to ask the next question to a few others, then maybe I'll come back to you again, Jelissa. Yeah, the next question is I want to know what it's like every day as a performing arts student. I mean, a lot of parents, they come to me and they'll ask things like, do they sit on tables? Do they sit on chairs? Is there a blackboard? Is there a whiteboard? Can I ask Shi Hong to start off with this? Can you tell us what it was like a day in UK doing your course?
So walk around the room a lot. Like it's not even, I'm not even joking. Like it's first year you spend 6 months of your career just walking around the room.
Wow.
Literally. A bit of exaggeration, but it's not. Like every morning we so basically my course we did 9 to 5 from Monday to Friday, which is great because I think that's like the main thing, that you get your muscles going from 9 to 5 every day, and you're just doing really weird stuff, like say walking around the room. And then I think the courses are, it's like a performance is very non-academic, very vocational. Is that the word? Like quite practical and stuff like that. It's all very hands-on. The only time where we sort of like sit down and actually have like a sort of class is when we're doing like voice. So anything like so you learn about your what's called your larynx and whatnot and stuff like that, because all that's slightly more technical. Like voice is quite technical, so that we sort of sit down, and also when we learn accents, so we have to learn phonetics and stuff like that, so to learn different accents. So that one is slightly more academic, but if that's like the most academic it gets for our course.
Mainly practical.
Yeah, so most of the time you sort of spend like rolling around the room, walking. It's like first year is like really like you don't get a lot of acting. That's how it's like, sort of thing. You sort of just, you spend time getting comfortable with your body, understanding your voice, understanding like foundations and basics of it, and then understanding how to analyze scripts as well. Like I wouldn't say script analyzing is academic in a sense, because I think, well, personally, I love it. I love like looking at the script and then like taking it apart and then discussing stuff and whatnot. So that was like the basic thing. It was basically voice, movement, script work, and then some acting sort of thing. And then towards like the end of like second and third year, you get more like one-on-one time where you do monologues, you do a bit of singing, you do a bit of dancing as well, of course, singing and dancing. And then in the final year, you do like we do like public shows and whatnot.
Thank you, Shihong. Is it similar, Safia at LaSalle and also Zhafir in UITM? Did you roll around a lot, walk around a lot? Yeah, yeah. Can you share a bit,
Because
Zhafir? Zhafir, maybe Zhafir can start first.
Because actually I started with diploma in film, and then I continue degree in theatre. Actually in UITM at first year and half of second year, yeah, like what Shihong said, that there's a lot of activities in studio, which is like you walking around the room, and then at first because I'm just like, apa kita buat ni? Just, and then because the lecturers always like, okay, find your own pace, okay, understand your body and whatsoever. That's why it's like, oh, okay, I didn't know that the acting kena macam ni, you know. So yeah, same goes with UITM, which is like from 8 until 6. Usually on the first year, like usually we in the studio, and then but for degree in UITM, starting from third year, we more on research things. So there's no more, I think just one class which is a traditional mak yung, which is we do it in studio, but the rest we just having a screening and then a discussion, because we try focusing on thesis and final year project.
Yeah, so I think what you all are saying are so important, because the audience members, some of them are starting class this very Monday. So I think that whole, oh my God, what are we going to do? Now they know, okay, we're going to run around, we're going to roll around. What about at LaSalle? Is it as, what's the word, intensive as what Zaf and Shihong mentioned, like 8 to 6, 9 to 5? Was it as intensive, Safia?
Very intense. It's a full time lah. Basically, when I was there, I didn't really have a life outside of LaSalle. You're not in school. You're spending time recovering. You know, because your body is just stretched.
Recovering.
Left, right, and center, and it's physically and mentally. So, like for us, right? We will start at 8:30. We'll start with stretch warm up for half an hour, and then school hours start. I mean, classes start from 9 all the way to 6. So, and then if you're involved in the graduation show, then you know you continue after that. Like if there's tech, for example, after you finish classes at 6, then it will be like 7 till 10 will be at tech. So some days, I mean, some months, it's really full on. Rolling around is just part of being in a cinema course. Yeah, rolling around. A lot of it is on the floor. A lot of it is like, because you can't just sit. I think the only sitting down and the academic side would be like dramatic literature, like you know, like you learn history, you learn plays, but after that, like analyzing it, sitting down, but after that, it's all on the floor.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break now to a fun question, maybe. What's the biggest misconception you think people have of a performing arts student? When you say, oh, Safia is a performing arts student, what do you think people think in their minds last time?
It's a glam. That is all glamour, glitz, you know, like fun. It's not lah. It's a lot of hard work. It's work. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And it's literally that, you know, like if you're doing dance, your toes will bleed. And if you're like doing, I mean, sweat is an everyday thing. Tears is if you go through like acting class that touches in your inner, you tap your past, you cry, you connect with people, you cry. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's what people don't see. You know, when they see the end product, they don't see the hard work behind it. So that's the misconception. It's a lot of hard work. It's not just talent. I mean, you can be like, you don't have to have, I mean, if you are hardworking, the talent is only like probably 40%, 30%.
Wow, okay.
I say less.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think another big thing as well is that you have to love it every day.
Yeah.
Like, there are days where I'm sitting there, I was like, oh God, get me out of this class. Like, I hate it so much that you don't have, like, people think, oh, you do theater because there's no money in it, so you have to like, oh, love it with every single inch of your body. No, I freaking hate. I think sometimes it's just like, oh, like, why did I choose this stupid career? You know what I mean? And that's like, okay, you know what I mean? That you don't have to be like completely in love with it. That you can.
Every
That
day.
it's still like a job sometimes. You know what I mean? It's a job to sit down and read like a really shitty script, and it's like, who wrote this stupid thing? Sometimes, you know what I mean? It's like that. So like,
True. What Shihong says, especially true once you get out of
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like even in schools as well, like you do some classes where you're just like, this makes no sense, and it's okay for it to make no sense to you. It's okay for it to not work for you. So like you cling on to the small things that you enjoy, and then some days you just hate it. But then the thing is that you at the end of the day you still sort of come back, sort of thing. So yeah.
What you said just now about loving it is so interesting because our adjunct professors, Joe and Farida, Joe Hasham and Dato Farida, they say this to our the candidates that come to audition. That's the thing they say to all of them. And I don't know whether he said this to us, Safia, Anrie, Zhafir, to Shihong even. I think he did somehow in our first rehearsals or first times with him. I think he sort of warned us like, you want to do this play, you want to do this production, you better love it because it's going to get tough. Like all of you have illustrated just now, you mentioned just now how tough it can get, right? So the question, why do we still do it even if it's so tough, right? Well, that's not my question, but something for us all to think about. You see, time has passed so fast. We only have 15 minutes left before questions. So I'm going to ask the last question for all of you, right? What would be your advice to students who are going to embark on a course in performing arts? You know, all these lambs are going to start their course on Monday, not knowing what they are getting themselves into. And then after the third year, there is that difficult question of, can cari makan or not? What to do after that, right? So I want you to think about what you would tell them. Maybe the first is what you would tell them as they are going to start their course, and maybe something to tell them to make them maybe more employable in the future. What would be your advice? Because I think all 5 of you are industrious. You are people who have reached for your dreams and you are still pursuing your dreams, right? Baby or not, you are still doing it, right? So what would you tell them? What would you say to them? Yeah, anybody can start. Maybe we start with Anrie.
Okay. I think it latches on a little bit to the previous question. Like just to reiterate, yes, it's true. It's not easy. I think that is something that you need to kind of embrace, the fact that people who are not in the industry will think that the performing arts is an easy subject. It's an easy course to take. I think that is a very big misconception. For the people, I think the people who has any semblance of experience being in the industry will tell you that it is one of the toughest industry that you can ever be in.
Yes.
Because it takes so much out of you. Yeah. It takes so much out of you to be able to stand on stage. You have to overcome so many things, like your personal obstacles, whatever it is, whether or not, whether it's because you are afraid or you are, you have doubt, you have insecurities, all those things need to be embraced before you step on stage. So my advice would be, if you're taking this course, which I think you are, or if you're thinking about it, which I hope you will, is the fact that embrace the crazy. I don't know if this makes
Embrace
sense.
the crazy. I love that.
Embrace the crazy. Whatever that you think that it looks crazy and it looks like, ugh, so stupid, so embarrassing, embrace it because it will make sense.
I
This
love
is
that.
coming
Embrace
from
the crazy.
yeah, because this is coming from somebody who I started off not having the theoretical knowledge. Everything I learned through work. I was cast in a theatre performance, and then I had to learn everything from vocal learning, vocal styling, how to do things like even basic things like vocal warm up, how to act like a lion, how to those things when if somebody is standing outside of the rehearsal room looking in, they say crazy or what? What's going on? These people all yawning or pretending to be like a chair or like a fire. What is that?
Oh,
But
okay.
it's part of the process. You have to trust the process. Just
Yeah.
trust that it will lead you to some place to where you have never been before. If you trust the process and you just embrace it, yeah, it will. At the end of it, now, because right now I'm a lecturer and I teach people to do these things. So I understand the theory behind it. I've studied it because I did drama education and I understand the concept behind it. I stand by it 1001% because it will make sense. It will make sense. So you just have to trust it. If that's one
You're gonna
advice
miss the
that I can
process,
give.
right?
Yeah, that's great.
You just have to trust the process. Embrace the
Wonderful.
crazy and trust the process. You will get there.
Anybody else want to say something? Zhafir, you want to say something?
Because my advice is always start with do a lot of research and jangan malu bertanya, you know.
Jangan
You can
malu
ask.
bertanya. Yeah.
Yes, because I grew up in Lahad Datu Sabah, you know. I grew up in Lahad Datu Sabah, and it's a bit hard for me to find any information about performing art, you know. So, but luckily that I love to ask. Okay, I love to ask questions to my teachers, and then sometimes with my parents. I always ask them like, oh, which university should I go for performing art? So, which field is it, in theater, in film, in music, or what? So I always ask them, and then I always ask myself like, which way that I should take, you know? Yeah, and then just trust with your choice yang you buat, you know. And then because I think that after you done a lot of research, I guess that mestilah you already know that okay, ini I nak buat, ini I nak buat, ini I nak buat. Okay, and then after that just like what Anrie said, trust the process, enjoy the process, because you're gonna love it, and you're gonna miss the rehearsal. You akan rindu the rehearsal, the process, and I love the quote 32, which is embrace the craziness. And yes, there's a lot of craziness happening in performing art, and you're gonna enjoy it. And then after that, because one of my junior, he asked me before, because he studied in performing art in master, and then he said that, okay, what should I do after I already graduate? Am I just become a performing art lecturer? But so I just said like, just try, you know, just, I'm not sure how's your opinion, but for me, performing art is so wide, so you boleh akan ada macam-macam career yang you boleh pursue. And I always said that you can create your own opportunity on how, because previously I a freelancer, so among the freelancer we always like, alamak nak kerja apa after this, alamak nak kerja apa after this, tak ada show, how. Then we create our community, which is we make our own opportunity, then we do a show, and after that kita panggil like orang-orang yang berminat untuk memberi dana, you know. So memberi dana, and then slowly grow up. It's always start with small things lah, you know,
Right.
like freelancer, just create an opportunity and slowly we grow up, and then I end up at Caltech. Nah, gitu.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Zhafir.
Oh, wow.
Shihong, you're a fresh
Wow,
graduate, right?
Zhafir.
What would you tell the audience, this new student? What would you tell them?
Uh,
Or
about
students
what, studying or about the career?
maybe about studying. Yeah.
I think about studying is, I think it's okay if things don't work for you, things that you learn. I think like as an actor, we all have like very personal processes, and sometimes you go into class and you're learning something, and you feel like, oh, like why does this not work for me? You know, why does this like, or like why does this process not work for me? And I think it's okay for you to go like, I know this doesn't work for me. I don't get it. But I think you shouldn't close off your brain to it. Like that you always. So there is an analogy that one of my teachers uses, like.
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, I think
Alamak.
Shihong is frozen. Yeah, maybe Safia, you can go first. Yeah, because you have graduated long time ago, and then you worked after that, right? How was the experience? Was it easy to get work after you graduated?
Oh, sorry guys.
Have like that.
Sorry guys. I'm not to be a wet blanket, but it's the truth, you know. At least you guys know what the reality is. Also, performing arts in general has the highest dropout rate because I think people don't realize what they got themselves into. And then when they started, you know, and then you're like, oh, so it's like this, so it's not easy, like what Anrie was saying lah. I think what's important is maybe this is more for like, you know, I guess it's more for the lecturers like in a way, for you guys to explain to them what exactly they are going to go through for the next
Right.
3 years. The thing is 3 years, right? This course.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So for example, for mine, right, like what we went through for 3 years is my lecturer was very clear as to the first year, it's all about breaking you down. So it's all about breaking the ego. So there are so many things that's not going to make sense. So your ego is going to go like, what's going on? Why do I have to do this? Why do I have to be the wind? Why do I have to be the chair? You know, so your ego is going to say that, and that's okay. You have to understand that that's okay. So a lot of people give up after, like, you know, not even like finishing the first year, and they'll be like, why? You know, like, why do I have to do this? This is not it. I don't get to act. I don't get to go to the script. I don't get to create a character. Why? You know, because you have to break all these, you have to unlearn a lot of habits
Right.
that you don't get. So for a few, like the ones going in, you have to understand that the first year, I mean, like for me, like this, I'm just explaining to you what we went through in LaSalle. So the first year is all about breaking you down. And then the second year, like imagine the whole year you're doing that. And after the second year, they will focus on creating you. Like you focus on like building yourself back up. So that's when they give you all the techniques, the Meisner and the Stanislavski and the Feldenkrais. So that's for all these techniques for you to build yourself and get your, you know, like what the skill is about, the technique and stuff. And then the third year is when they prepare you. They prepare you for the world, you know. So they will give you the management side, and they will give you you will learn about, like for us, because it was an honest degree, so we had to do a thesis. So that's where the research part comes in, you know, like, and then also dealing with your portfolio. How do you do a resume? You present yourself. So I'm not really sure how the course in TUTAS is like, but I think it will help if the lecturers were to explain what they were going to go through in the next 3 years, so that it's managed expectations as well.
So it's good preparation, right?
I like the progress.
I think
So because I think the students need to understand what they're going through so that they don't give up halfway. You know, like you guys, the ones who are coming in, it's going to be different from what you know, you know. Everything that you know prior to the course, it will be challenged. You will be redefining a lot of things.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
thank you, Safia and Shihong, for, I don't consider this a wet blanket. I think this is being honest, and I think this is
Yeah.
crucial. It's important for them to
Yeah.
know, right?
Yeah.
Because as I mentioned at the start, this information is not available easily for parents and for students who are wanting to pursue this course. And we always think of the end product, which is the star on stage. So now we know before you see that star on stage, there's so much that has to happen. Like you were mentioning just now, the breaking,
Sure.
the breaking down of the ego and the person, and then the creating again. Yeah, we
Sorry,
are now.
Can I just just
Yeah,
really quick, just
Yeah.
something that just saying like breaking down egos, things like that, but like just saying like to people, your talent only brings you so far.
Yeah.
Like you like now go, especially when you go into a course, you're supposing when you go into, before you go to the course, you're the good one in like the amateur group sort of thing. And so
Yeah.
in your head, like you sort of have talent, but like once you go into a course, that talent means jack. Like it's
Yeah.
nothing, because you go into the course and everybody's better than you or as good as you, and you cannot go into course thinking that, oh, like I'm good and that's why like I'm here. But yes, have confidence in yourself, but you need to understand that your talent has absolutely no meaning in the performing arts school anymore, because everybody's better than you or as good as you, literally. Like that's the cream of the crop
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
So you have to get that into your head.
It's related to what Safia mentioned about the ego
Yeah.
also, right? Yeah.
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 Okay. You know what? It's so fast. It's already 3:45. So I'm going to tell you now. We are going to have 2 sessions of Q&A. The first session, we are going to open up questions to the speakers, and then we're going to say goodbye to them. And then we're going to have another session where you can ask about the BPA program. Okay, so we have 2 sessions, and we start the first session now, which is questions for our panel today, our speakers today. So any questions at all, you can specify a speaker that you want to ask this question to, or you can keep it general. Do we have any questions from anybody? You can speak or you can just type. Do you have any questions from anybody? Yeah, while we're waiting for questions, this was an interesting, what you mentioned about the ego. And if you don't mind, Jelissa, I just bring this up because you were going through that, right? Recently, where you talked about how you mentioned something briefly in class, everybody else is so good, right?
Yeah.
And I think this feeling, we all feel that, don't we? We go into the rehearsal space, we go into the acting class, and everybody is like a better performer than you, right?
Yeah.
How did you overcome that, Jelissa? I mean, was that something that you...
Was it the recent class that we had?
It was, what class was it? I remember you talking. Oh, it was the one...
The class that we had.
The practical class, right?
Where,
was it?
yeah,
one,
where everybody...
Yeah. Yes. It was the practical class we had in the dance studio. I remember that because I heard you guys talking.
Oh my god. Okay, so it's so awkward saying it because I'm still struggling with it. But basically, during one of these class, we were given, the students were given the task to act sexy, right? So there's this we were split into groups of 2 with 4 members inside, and oh my god, man. Like everybody in the room was fantastic. They were like going ham, it felt like it wasn't even in the class anymore. It felt, yeah. But when it came to me, I was in the corner. I just didn't want to I just couldn't, Oh, we have a question actually.
Yeah, we have a question. Yeah. How do you cope with rejection during auditions? Anrie, Zhafir. Maybe Anrie, Zhafir, Safia, would you like to take this?
Next.
I will try.
Yeah.
I will try and see if I can.
No, of course I've been rejected. Okay.
Just kidding. Anrie, you can go on.
Yeah. But if you haven't been rejected, I'm like, you are one in a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are you?
For sure you get rejection. But I think...
So how do you cope?
Can I just say it's okay to cry?
Awesome.
Oh, it is.
I agree.
first and foremost, I
Boleh
think
lah.
it's okay to feel it's okay to feel hurt. I think. I think a lot of times but of course there is a way to bounce back from rejection. Like I said earlier on, rejection is very real in the industry. But you have to keep this in mind. This is something that I've told my students before. Getting rejected is part and parcel of the career that you've chosen. If that's because walking into audition, that's why they say we got very thick skin. Actually, we don't know. It's just we have to have it because you get rejected so often. You get rejected so often that if you don't have that thick skin, it's going to be very hard for you to bounce back to go into the next rejection, because you're going to have it in your back of your mind that oh, I'm not good enough. So this is what I told my student the last time I got the same question, is that I tell them, and this is the truth, I'm not pacifying the situation. Sometimes when you get rejected, it's not necessary because it's you and your capability. Sometimes it really has to do with the fact that you just don't fit into the criteria of what the casting agent or the director or whoever that's making decision, the panel, is looking for. You can be very good at what you do, but then it has to do with this whole Cosmo thing of like, sometimes you just don't fit. You just don't fit the role that they're looking for. And that's why you get rejected. But that being said, this also has to do with a lot of ego. I'm not stroking your ego. It's also very real, the fact that maybe you're not there yet and you're not good enough to be cast. That can also be true. So what I would say, whenever you face rejection, the way to do it is you have to tell yourself it's work. It is not personal. When somebody rejects you for work, whatever, when you don't get cast, it's not because they don't like you. It's not because like, why the face like that? No, it's nothing to do with that. You just don't, for some reason, you just don't fit. So what can you do to overcome it? Is that you also treat it professionally, because it is a profession. So you treat professionally. So there's two ways to go about it. One, first thing you need to do is you need to swallow your pride and say, it's okay, I didn't get the job. Second, if you really want to move on, then be brave and ask. Sometimes, a lot of times actually, directors are very willing to give you advice and feedback if you're lucky. So what you can do is you ask them, is there a reason why I didn't get the role? Is there something that I need to do to be better? You know, because I really feel for the role. I really thought that I did a good job. If you really believe that you really delivered, and then for some reason you don't get cast, I feel like it's fair that sometimes you ask appropriately to say, okay, did I do something wrong? What can I do the next time, you know, I go in for casting again, or I go in for an audition again? Is there something I can do better? Because then you will also leave an impression that you are working on yourself. I think that's something that's very important. And sometimes people, because we have ego, and then we don't allow ourselves to face the fact that maybe sometimes we just not prepared. We're underprepared for an audition. And that happens because you can be as good as you are, you warm up and everything, you go in and then you sing a song and then you don't hit the note.
Yeah.
It's just that day, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's very unfortunate, and we have that one chance. Then don't let your ego get in the way. You know,
that's,
so I
that's
think
a very thorough answer actually. And it also makes you feel, you know, you don't take it personally, right? It's you be
because
professional.
it's not.
It's
It's work.
next, it's not because I not rejected. I'm just saying on to the next one. That's what I meant. Like the minute I got rejected, on to the
Oh,
next
that's
one.
what you meant. I see.
Yeah, not that I'm not rejected. Hello, of course I'm rejected. Okay.
You were like,
No, because it's true.
I don't relate to this
It's just
question.
work.
Hey.
Okay, we don't have
No,
much.
definitely.
Maybe we ask one more.
Yeah, focus.
We've got
to
two
the
questions actually.
Sorry?
Sorry.
We've got
I'll
two
ask
questions.
this one. Do you think it's ideal to have the support or just self-reliant when facing obstacles in performing arts? Do you think it's ideal to have the support or just be self-reliant when facing obstacles in performing arts? Hakim, yeah, you want to try that?
So I'm assuming they like, as in like support of like family and friends. I'm assuming. I think.
Hakim, do you mean like you need support financially or you need emotional support if you are an artist? Hakim? Emotional support. Yeah. Do we need a family to support us?
I mean, family support is always great, no matter what you do in life, isn't it? I mean, I think not having it is always rough. There's a lot of like friends as well that don't have it. But then it's important to find like a community, obviously. So like in Malaysia and I think in Malaysia is good because the theatre community tends to be more tight knit sort of thing, and a lot of people in Malaysia as well, people who are doing theatre there are in the same boat as you that maybe don't have support from their family, sort of thing. Like I know a lot of people in T4IP that were like that. So I think if you I think it's definitely important to reach out to people who understand you and like don't bottle it in. Don't be like me and sit around in COVID and sort of like wallow with my PS4. Don't do that.
Are you like that? Are you like that?
Yeah, I sit in front of my PS4 and just run away with games.
Okay.
Don't do that. Yeah, reach out to people, talk to people, like reach out to people who are doing theater with you and stuff like that, and like cry with them, rant with them about how shitty this situation is and whatnot. Because it's good.
I'll squeeze in one more question. Is it necessary to find your own style? Is it possible to find balance in having your identity and versatility with different styles? Yeah, maybe we answer, is it necessary to find your own style? Yeah. Zhafir? Yeah, whoever.
I think it's important in terms of like casting towards the end, because at the end of the day, we all hate it, but you do fit into a certain casting bracket in some sense, to a certain degree. You know what I mean? Like I'll never play like a white posh dude. You know, that's just why it's never gonna be that. So it's still, I think it's definitely, versatility is always a good thing to have, but it's also like, as I think like now, like I'm starting to get rejected by auditions more and more. You know what I mean? You start to realize like, okay, what's more well suited for me? Like, I can read the description and I know like, yeah, I'm not gonna get this because this is so not down my alley. So I think you will slowly like start to realize like, oh, what works, like what people like you for, this sort of thing, which comes from like trial and error, really.
You know what? We should have done this a 2-hour session because it's 4 o'clock. We don't have enough time. So I would like now to just say thank you to Safia, Shihong, Zaf, Jelissa, and Anrie. Thank you for taking time. I know you all are busy working people, busy mommies, busy practitioners, busy teachers, busy students, busy doing a lot of things. Thank you for taking that 1 hour to enlighten our audience members on what it was like for you as a performing arts student. It was very inspiring for me too, because tell you the truth, after 20 years, sometimes I go through moments of jadedness. I feel like I want to quit and just run away and not do this anymore. I'm sure you all felt that sometimes. So it's very nice to be reminded of, hey, I have a calling. Yeah, God wants me to do this. So thank you for reminding me that we are part of this tribe, right? We are part of this tribe. And now we're welcoming all these babies to this tribe. Yeah, God bless them.
All the best,
guys. Thank you again.
Thank you for inviting.
The audience can stay, but the speakers, thank you very much. And I hope to see you again soon. Hopefully, thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you. All the best, everyone.
Yes.
The audience can stay for more questions. I will now maybe pass the floor to Dr. Syed. Dr. Syed, would you like to say a few things?
Hello, everyone. Hi, hello, everyone. I'm Syed Zhafir. I'm the program director for TUTAS Conservatory. So, so we just had our webinar, and it was very inspiring. And it is really good to hear from other artists as well about their journey becoming an artist and how they went through their time as a student. So now we are opening a session. If you have any question about our program at Taylor's University, we are offering a theatre program, Bachelor of Performing Arts in Theatre, and we are also working together with Theatre Studios at Kuala Lumpur Performing Arts Centre. And if you want to know more about this program, you can always reach out to us via Facebook. Just type in facebook.com/TUTAS Conservatory, and you should be able to see all the updates, opportunity, and also events that we are doing. All right, so we are here for maybe 5 to 10 minutes more to get questions from our participants. And yeah, so if you have any questions, just let us know so that we can help you to share about the program at Taylor's University. Anyone? All right, so if we don't have a question, I think let me just tell you a little bit more about this program. So at Taylor's University, we are working together with the Actor Studios at Kuala Lumpur Performing Arts Centre, KAPAC, to offer this Performing Arts, Bachelor of Performing Arts in Theatre. So our students are going to spend their time Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, basically at KAPAC. They are working with our teachers, our lecturers at KAPAC, our award winner, directors, actors, script writers, you know, and also set design, costume, hair, and makeup. You guys are, our students are going to spend their time learning about this thing at KAPAC, and also they are going to be at campus on Thursday and Friday to study something that under the university's program, under the university's module. So that's basically the plan for the program. So we have our adjunct professor, Dr. Farida Marikan, and also Joe Hashab OAM as our adjunct professors. And these two icons are going to be your lecturers, your teachers, your coach, your buddy, you know, your friends. You are also have the opportunity to work together with them as a actor, you know, as a helper at KAPAC. That's the idea behind it, to work closely with the industry. So I think this is the best opportunity for our students to get in touch and also to see the real situation in the performing arts industry. So we also have facility in campus where we have dance studios, experimental theater. We do have X-Space. X-Space is actually a class that movable class. You have the opportunity to work in portable way, you know, so that you can work effectively. So, and then we do have other facilities like lab, you know, or any restaurants, you know. So those are the facilities that actually helps you as a students to be more expressive with your artistic ideas. All right, so I think that's basically the program. It is a 3-year program. So you are basically are going to learn about yourself as well as an artist, and you have the opportunity to work together with all the lecturers. So I think that's the general idea of this program. And if you have more questions, you can always go to facebook.com/TUTAS Conservatory, and you can always ask the question, and all of our team should be able to help to answer your question. So I think that's basically the program. And if you don't have any question here, hope to hear from you, you know, and to know more about you later. All right. So I think I'll pass back to Mark to close this the webinar.
Yeah, I'll see you in class, all of you. I'll see all of you in class, and thank you to Yoon and Hakim for coming and supporting. I think Yoon, you're here to support Shi Hong, and Hakim, you're here to support me. Yay, thank you. But the rest, I'll see you in class, yeah? Scott, Fee, Keith, and Ken Hui, I'll see you in class. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Syed.
you. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Bye-bye, everyone.